bare minimum. But for men, y'all, we have to come with 100%. We have to check off every box. But as women, we have to be like, you know what? He provides. He's loyal, so therefore he doesn't have to be physically attractive.
What boxes are y'all checking off? Let me know what you.
We check off everything. We are smart.
Okay.
We provide. We're good wives. We're good mothers. We come from good homes. We can cook. We can clean. We're good in bed. Like everything that we have to mount up to, we do. And I feel like as women, unfortunately, we have to settle.
I'm gonna take it in the order that you said, because when you ask a question off the top, usually people respond with what's off the top.
Okay.
Right? Your first things that you listed had nothing to do with what men want in women.
So what do y'all want?
And that's the problem. We want a feminine woman that wants to be fit, that wants to take care of the small inconveniences in our lives and reciprocate the value. So if I go, the inconveniences in my life. So for me, for example, I go to work every single day. My wife gets to sleep in if she wants to. I have a trip to Florida in 10 days. She's already booked the trip. She's already booked the flight. She's already taken care of the Airbnbs. I don't have to worry about that. When I sit down, she brings me a warm plate. That's something that I look for in a woman. I don't care about if a woman can provide.
But
why would a man care about if a woman can provide?
Do you feel like your household is the typical household that we see now in 2021? Are we now in a atmosphere where it's both women and men bringing things to the table as far as providing for a household? You say your wife gets to sleep in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
But that's not typical.
But that's because my wife selected me based on my drive and not my appearance. She seen the vision, she seen where I wanted to go, and she helped me get to that position.
So whenever women do that, why do we get called gold diggers? Do you feel like your wife was a gold digger because she looked at your drive, she looked at your ambition, she looked at what you could do for her financially?
My wife was with me since I was 15, so that in particular, I'm gonna give you that, because that's not the typical situation. What I'm trying to get at, if a woman is counted a gold digger if the man already is solidified, and that's what women want in 2021, and that's why it don't work out. Y'all try to go for men that are already solidified, that look a certain kind of way, and then when it don't work out, y'all play dumb. Look at Brittany Renner. PJ Washington, she dealing with PJ Washington. Oh, he told me this, he told me that. That don't matter. Did he put a ring on that finger? We judge character based off action. We judge characters.
They were married.
We judge character based on actions.
They were married, so I'm confused.
PJ Washington and Brittany Renner was married?
Yes.
Oh shit, I fucked that up then. But you looking at like situations like Sierra and Future. Look at their situation. You dealing with a man that's been around the block, he got kids, he ain't been taking care of his kids, and now you want to lay up with him. And this ain't even something that's celebrity. Only reason I use celebrities is because we all know them people. Mm-hmm. I can go to the hood right now and show you hella relationships that's messed up because it's a dude that's a crackhead. He got 3 or 4 baby mamas. He ain't doing nothing with his life. But because he look a certain way, all these women want to lay up with him and date him based on potential. But when you're talking about potential, are you talking about Will Smith before he became Will Smith? Because that's potential. Are you talking about Barack Obama when Michelle Obama held him down through law school? Because that's potential. Mm-hmm. But are you talking about a dude that's just sexually attractive that ain't doing nothing with his life and you hoping that he get it together one day while he living off of your refund check?
I feel like that's easier said than done. Like you said, you want women to go, you're telling me women should date based off potential, but as soon as we do that, we get called every negative name in the book. If we look at a man and say, hey, he has a good job, he can financially provide for me. He might not be the best looking, but I look good. We automatically get labeled a gold digger. But you're telling me that's what we should be going after. But you're also saying that, look at Brittany Renner. She went after a guy that could financially provide for her. He might not have been the best guy, but would you consider Brittany a gold digger?
I would consider her an opportunist. For sure, and I think that her resume shows that, and I think that that's why she's catching the flack. She's catching the flack because she promoted herself and branded herself as a woman that would go after men for a check.
Why can't we go based off potential and opportunity?
You can go based off of potential and opportunity, but the problem is y'all not going off of potential and opportunity. Y'all going off of men that are already successful. That's the problem.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to look at the age that we're dating at this point. There are people becoming more successful younger and younger. We're not talking about these people that are becoming successful in their 50s and 60s. People are becoming millionaires in their young 20s.
That's Instagram. That's the difference in perspective. Men don't reach financial potential, the peak of their financial potential, until about 55 to 65 years old.
That's not always true, though.
It's not always true, but see, now we go into the exceptions.
But you don't know who I date. What if I date the exceptions?
We go into the exceptions.
What if I date the exceptions?
But you don't, because if you was dating the exceptions, you would still be with them.
Who says I'm not with him?
Okay, maybe that's fair.
lot
Okay,
of
what I'm
mercy.
basically getting at is women are looking for the wrong. Name me one good king, one good conqueror that had one woman.
LeBron.
You think LeBron got one? I'm an athlete. I'm an ex-professional athlete. Come on, let's keep it
I
a buck.
mean,
You think LeBron ain't? And I'm not even going. And you can't even count Martin Luther King because he was sleeping around.
He was.
Right. So what we talking about? Any good man that has already been established? Come on, let's just keep it a
I'm
buck.
just saying,
It's
like,
a
y'all
clean
can't-
image. Didn't we just discuss that if you text everybody in your phone right now, you said 100% success rate will sleep with you? That's not the case for average men. Do you know that 30% of men will be virgins by the age of 30? Will have never touched a woman. That means that women have the selective choice of who they mate with. So you have the responsibility of who you allow in your body. Y'all choosing them based off appearance. That's what I'm trying to get at. And y'all got a layout. All you got to do as a woman is, okay, so for men, our burden to society, our burden to humanity is to build civilizations. That's our job. Whatever you want, I'm going to provide. Men, build the microphone, build the camera, build the house. This is all men. This is what we do. We provide. You going to make the face like we don't do that? This is what we do. We provide for.
Historically, women have started things first a lot of the time, but it's okay. Go ahead. The reason why I feel like it is men, because I feel like men have too many options. I feel like men kind of are at this point, like they find something good, but they're never satisfied. So whenever they feel like something else comes to them that might be a little bit better, unfortunately, they hop on that and they take that next option.
So when I just said the statistic that 30% of men will be virgins, that didn't do anything. That didn't prove.
Nothing.
That didn't show to you that men don't, by and large, have the majority of the options. Men get with what they can get. Women get to choose who they want when it comes to sexual
Because I feel like
opportunity.
virgins could be not shit too. So no.
So everybody in your phone that you get to choose
Oh, well, you can wait till he's done with the sentence.
from, those are all men that are in your plethora of people you can be involved with. Now it's up for you to decide whether those men are good candidates for you to be involved with. Now that's your responsibility as a woman. Like I said, a man's responsibility is to build civilizations and societies. A woman's responsibility is to bring forth the next generation of society builders.
Okay. So I would like to get everyone's thoughts on that clip.
Me first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So much came out, honestly. One thing was that, okay.
Drew, microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who's, quite a long way from his puberty. So, I've seen the dating landscape change quite dramatically in my life. And one or two things kind of came up. One of the things was that, not so much in the UK, but certainly in America, it was, you didn't date somebody unless your dad had given him the once-over. You just didn't. Maybe you disagree, but...
Are you saying that Sierra's dad wouldn't have approved of Future?
I don't know. Maybe he would. Who knows? But no, I mean, in the States, it was like the first thing that happened. There was a trope of, the boyfriend knocking on the front door and the father answering it. And, she's agonizing over, I need to make all these choices. Well, the dad used to do the first level of filtering, a couple of decades ago. And there was also the fact that it's like, actually, do you know what? The idea of a woman finding a man's body attractive is relatively new as well. I mean, I remember, I don't know, when I was in my early 20s, maybe, when women started going, oh, he's got a nice bum. Before that, it was of no importance whatsoever whether a guy's body was sexually attractive or not.
So, did girls just not care about looks at all? It was more about character?
It was much more about character.
Well, because women are supposed to be the attractive ones.
Yes.
It's not really supposed to be the men.
Let's face it, we're not actually. I mean, maybe 0.5% of men is really actually
Women find 80% of men unattractive.
Yeah.
Not just okay, unattractive.
Yeah. So, I mean, that, pretty much pans out.
Yeah. Like just to your stat, like all the people that I know in relationships have all been from like in work, friend of a friend, stuff like that. The Tinder thing just hasn't worked for guys, by the way. The Tinder thing just hasn't worked. Actually, even my female friends.
Well, women only swipe right like 5 to 15% of the time on dating apps, and that's the number one way people are meeting nowadays. So the reason that women say things like men are trash is because they're all screwing the same ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, not a community, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the only thing I don't agree with that, like a lot of it like made sense. The only thing is like when he said what he looks for in a woman, that the only thing is like I do want a female I'm dating to at least have a job, because if she was 23 and didn't have a job, that would just be a little bit weird. And you got to take the economic like thing in this. Like the average wage is like 28 grand, right? And you can't live off that on your own. So usually you expect you and your partner to have a job. So if she doesn't, then all the burden's on you. So I just think in modern day, you kind of have to, she doesn't have to be the provider, but you at least want her to bring something.
Well, and it probably mitigates risk a little bit if people are more successful. But I think the point is like, if a girl has a high paying job, you're not like, oh, that's hot.
Yeah.
Where if a guy has a high paying job, we're like, oh, damn.
Yeah. So that's more like a minimum. I at least want them to have a job, but I don't care if they're
it's the
whatever.
bare minimum.
I think it's worth. Could I just like interject there, because I think it's worth pointing out that so for instance, I lived in a house with one income, my father's income. My mum looked after me and my brother, so she could dedicate all of her time to us. Yeah. Feminism rolls along. All of a sudden, it's better to have a boss than a husband. That was basically the message of feminism, isn't it? And basically, families had two incomes, and the house prices and prices of everything else rose to accommodate that. They got dinkies, double income, no kids yet, which were like the newly married couple, and then essentially everything became more difficult, because all of a sudden you needed two incomes. You needed two incomes to be able to get a mortgage. You needed two incomes to be able to afford a holiday, and that was the sum total of the effect of feminism. Other than the fact that, of course, the government got twice as much tax money, and the children got neglected as a result.
I think it also depends on the lifestyle you want to. Like if you want to live in a city like London, yes, two incomes is necessary. But if you want to live in a rural side where the home prices are significantly cheaper, if perhaps you want to homeschool your children, grow your own food, I think it's definitely possible depending on what your priorities are. But yeah, it depends on the couple.
What did you guys think of the clip?
I feel like those comments are based on like basic gender roles. Like things are not, it doesn't match what's happening in today's world. He's saying, women are only going for successful guys, but women have literally been taught from a young age to go for a guy that's stable, that has a good job, not just by their mothers, by their fathers too, because no dad would accept a guy who doesn't have his shit together, let's say. So,
well, I think that women are told from a young age they don't need a man, and you can be your own boss and chase the bag.
And that as well, yeah.
So I don't really find
both
that,
ends,
I don't really find that like at least under a certain age, I don't see women chasing the guys with like that are like driven and hardworking and like good men. I see them chasing more of like the bad boys.
Yeah, I think a lot of women, or these days now, are going for a lot of like image.
Yeah.
Guys that drive nice cars, guys that have money and have, maybe because it's social media and this whole thing of looking a certain way. If you drive this, you have this. So I feel like women are now going for that. That's probably why they do end up with men that are just shit, because these men don't actually have personality. It's just all a front, basically, and they'll rather put up with that if it means they're sitting in a nice car and they're going to the nicest restaurants, like you said, Novikov. They'll rather put up with that than, I guess that's the bare minimum. Like they'll rather have that bare minimum if it means that they look good doing it.
but then also, like Pearl said, like men are intimidated by successful women. So
I didn't say they were intimidated.
Nah, a lot of them are.
I don't think so. I don't think men care. Like
I think they do. A lot of men have this ego thing.
I think they're only intimidated by women that throw their money in their face. So like I don't think I don't think most men are intimidated by women that have a lot of money. It's more the women that think they're better than everyone else And it's not really that they're intimidated. They just don't like them or want to deal with them because they think they're better than everyone else.
$200,000 engagement ring.
But yeah,
But then don't the
it
men
could be
carry
that.
themselves like that as well when they have money? It's the same.
I think they just carry themselves like they're the prize because they are.
But so,
I think
feel
it
like goes
definitely
both
is
ways.
ego. They can feel a bit intimidated.
Yeah.
You know, if their wife is earning a lot of money and then she wants a certain thing and he can't provide it for her, that could like hit his ego and make him.
But I think that's the point though. Like, so the girl doesn't mind ego, right? If someone's quite they're like confident, stuff like that, showy. But then when a female is very ego driven, right, that's off-putting to a lot of men because that isn't, you know, like you said, you're like, oh well, why should it matter? Like they've got money, they've made their own money, and it's just like we don't really care, like type thing. So it's like
not a very mothery thing to be, is it?
Yeah, and it's not really don't care because don't get me wrong. Like if I had the same girl and one earned more and one earned less, of course I'm gonna go for the one who earned more. But that's not that's not a deciding. Like if you had a chart of like a game chart with all these like stats, that's not the deciding factor. It's really low on the scale.
But I think it's because a lot of times women, like we think like women, and so we think that men want the things we want, but they just don't care. It's like have you ever had a guy have like a really cool shoe collection? Do you care? Okay, she cares.
I think it was interesting. I'm sorry, Jim. One other thing that came up was that it dawned upon me that there are couples where the man's successful and the woman isn't, and there are couples where both of them are successful. There are very, very, very few couples where the woman's successful and the husband isn't. You know, there's this kind of trope of the power couple, but it just very, very seldom happens, and the relationship needs to be incredibly strong to sustain that as well.